Hi, you are welcome in Arduino learning lecture series. So today we will discuss about controlling servo motor with the help of Arduino. So let's start this video. Just we will design our project in Proteus software. So you have to just open Proteus software. Now you have to move in component mode and click on pick devices option, and here you have to search for Arduino, and you will get here different model of Arduino. So you have to choose Arduino Uno R3. After this you required servo motor. So when you will type servo, you will get three options for that. So you have to choose motor servo. You can choose motor servo, and you can also choose motor PWM servo, because servo motor operate on PWM concept. So choose servo motor PWM, okay, and just click on OK. So your devices will be added in devices list. From list, just you need to choose Arduino first. So place it in workspace and rotate is clockwise. So just one port vertical orientation for this. So Arduino is placed in workspace. Now it's turn to connect servo motor with Arduino. So click on servo motor and just drag it in workspace. Here we have placed the servo motor, as you can see. Now let's understand the function of servo motor and terminals of the servo motor. Here you will get three terminals in the servo motor. The first one is ground, and second one is input signal pin. So you have to just apply PWM on this pin. So we will just apply PWM with the help of Arduino. And the last one is power supply pin. So this servo motor will operate on 5 volt. So for servo motor you need not to place a motor driver especially for this, because servo motor already contains motor driver inside this. So just you need to connect your servo motor with the help of Arduino. So now it's turn to connect our servo motor with respective pins. So we will give signal to our servo motor with pin number 9. Whatever pin you want to use, you can use. Now we will connect servo motor signal pin with pin number 9 of Arduino. So signal pin we have connected with pin number 9 of Arduino. Now it's turn to connect power supply on Arduino board. Sorry, on servo motor board, servo motor. So first just we will connect ground. So place a ground from terminal modes. You have to move just in terminal mode and you will get some power supply options. Here you have to choose ground and just drag it from device list and drop in workspace. Now connect your ground pin of servo with ground chosen from terminal mode. Now it's turn to power up our servo motor. So just click on power option and click in workspace. Just power will be created here, and now connect your VCC pin of servo with power supply of 5 volt. So the connection for servo motor is completed now. Now it's turn to move in Arduino IDE software to program our microcontroller means Arduino board. So just move to Arduino IDE software. Just open Arduino IDE software. Here for servo motor there is a header file provided by Arduino. So we need to choose header file. So just we will include header file in your Arduino workspace. So this is the keyword to include any header file in our workspace means Arduino IDE software. So you have to write has include. This is the format for any header file to include in your program. So servo.h we have included for servo motor. Next we need to create a variable for servo motor. So just we will write here now it's turn to create a variable for our servo. So we will create a variable with the help of servo keyword. We have created a variable my servo with the help of servo keyword. So we will just create an integer type variable pause means position. So just we will write the value of servo motor at which the rotation of the servo motor should be stopped means we will just define a position for servo motor lid. So we just need create an integer type variable. Just we have created a variable of pause with integer type. Now it's turn to move in setup function. As we have discussed earlier, in void setup just we configures the pin of Arduino as input or output. So if we are giving any signal to servo, so the pin at which we want the output signal for servo is output pin for Arduino. So here we need to just configure the pin. We have connected servo motor at pin number 9, so we need to configure pin number 9 here. So just we have to write here the pin configuration for servo motor is little different from LED and normal DC motor. So here we will just use attach keyword for that. So here for servo we have created my servo variable. So add my servo variable, we have just configure pin number 9 for that. So with the help of this syntax we will configure pin number 9 as output for servo motor. So the setup is completed for that. Now it's turn to move in while loop function. As we have discussed earlier, for loop, so we will use here for loop. Here we will use for loop for rotation of servo. So we have created here pause variable. So we will use pause means just position. We have to initialize our servo, so we need to provide a value for pause variable. So we will just initialize our servo from 0 position. So we need to just write here 0, and we just want to move our servo up to 180 degree. So just we need to write here 180, and we will just increment the value of pause as we have discussed earlier for loop, one function of for loop. So in the body of for, just we need to write here. If we want to write any value in servo, so here is a keyword. We need to write a value on created variable. So we have created my servo variable for servo signal. So here we will write. So now we will write the value of pause in our servo. So here we will write just with the right keyword, just we will write the value of pause in my servo variable. So here just we have to write pause, and just we will provide a delay of 10 millisecond. What is the intention of providing delay? It will just slow down the speed of your servo. So if we will not provide any delay, so the time it will take to change the position will be very less. So just we want that the servo should move on other position slowly, so we will provide a delay here. You can provide any delay here. So now we will now with this for loop, what will happen in servo position initially will initialize from 0 position, and it will move up to 180 degree. Now just we want that from 180 degree it should come to 0 position also. So we want that this activity should be performed with a delay of 2 seconds. So we will write here delay of 2000 millisecond. After 2000 millisecond delay, we also, you can say, after 2 second delay, what should be there? The servo motor should rotate in opposite direction up to 0 value. So here we will write pause will just initialize from 180 degree, because in the first for loop it started from 0 value up to 180 degree. Now the position of servo motor is at 180 degree. So for next for loop the position should be initialized from 180 degree. So the value for pause should be checked with respect to 0. Here the value is increasing from 0 to 180, so the increment is required for that. In the second for loop the value is initialized with 180 and it should be downgrade, so we require decrement for that. So we have mentioned here position should be decrement up to 0 value. So it's time to move in the body of for loop. So we will write here just we have to write the value of pause in the servo variable, and we will just provide a delay of 10 millisecond. So coding for servo motor is completed now. Now it's turn to compile our code. So just verify it and it will ask to save the code. So here you can give any name. I am assigning a servo motor. Just save it and it will start compiling. Wait until finish. So compilation is completed. Now search for the hex file generated path. So here you can see hex file is generated with the path in double inverted comma. Here its Arduino build number is ending with 212. So search for this in this given path. So just upload the generated hex file in your Arduino. For that just you have to double click on your Arduino and it will just open a new pop-up. In this you will get an option for program file, and here you will get a folder option. Just you have to click here and it will just give a new pop-up. From here you have to choose the path for hex file generated. In your PC it may be different, so you have to follow the path created by Arduino software. So just choose the build created for this code. So this is the code for Arduino. So here you can see hex file is generated. So double click on this and it will be chosen and just click on OK. Now the program in your Arduino board has been uploaded successfully. So it's turn to simulate our project. For that, just here you will see some options to control the simulation. Just you have to click on run button. As you can see, When I simulate our project, your servo motor it just start rotating. As you can see, your servo motor is rotating from minus 90 value to plus 90 value, means you will just calculate the difference between that, you will get it is 180 degree. So it is showing here the value from 90 to plus 90. You can see your project is working very fine. You can connect any number of servo motor on these pins, means the number of pins given in your Arduino board is for output. You can configure these output pins for your respective Arduino pins for your respective servo motor. So in this way your activity is completed now. So what we learned in this video, just we learned about interfacing servo motor with the help of Arduino. So our activity is completed. Thank you for your patience.